everybody, welcome to another Bello's Designs video tutorial. My name is Linda, and today we're going to be making a card with this kind of a front, and you don't need very many supplies to do it. Now this is a square card, so you can have any size you want to. I chose to do square, so this particular card, the base card, is 5 inches square. And then the mat, which is black, I have it cut with a rough deckled edge. So yeah, and that is 1/8 inch smaller than 5 inches. And then the front is 1/8 inch smaller than the mat with the same deckle edge. And so that one's 4.5 inches square for the very front. And that will make our card that we're going to make today. All right, so let's get started. First thing you're going to need is you're going to need your square front. I use heavy cardstock. Also, you're going to need a couple of Lavinia stamps. This stamp right here. That one is Lavinia 477. And we're using this stamp here in the middle. And that one is Lavinia 836. And we're using, for the blue, the Distress Oxide ink by Tim Holtz and Ranger Faded Jeans. We're using Versafine, Clair, Nocturne. We're going to use Lavinia's circle mask, where the hole is cut out in this case. And then you're going to need, I like an angled brush for this, but you don't have to have it angled. And these small ones I like. And then, of course, a gel pen, a Micron pen in a 005, and a mechanical pencil. All right, let's get started. Okay, we're back now, and we're going to start with the biggest tree. I'm going to use the Nocturne ink by Versafine. And you don't want the trunk in this. You want the upper part of the tree. You're going to draw the trunk in. Okay, so once you get this all inked up, you want it off center, off to the side, and you just eyeball it and press. Hold with one hand to stabilize your stamp, and press with the other fingers. And switch back and forth. And there you go. You got your tree. Now I'm left-handed, so I'm using a Micron pen 005 to draw in the trunk, and I'm doing it upside down to try and help you see what I'm doing while I do it, because I know sometimes the hand can block when you're left-handed. If it looks like I'm switching pens, it is. It's not because I'm getting a different size pen, it's just that this pen keeps running out of ink, and so if you see me switching pens, that's what's going on. I'm getting a same size nib pen, but one that has more ink in it. Now I put down my mask, and I've come in with the Tim Holtz Oxide ink. I put the ink on the brush. It's an angled brush. And then I start on the plastic, and I kind of feather it out and off onto the paper, moving in the same direction as the circle. Because what you're doing is you're wanting to establish that outside line of this bubble that you're creating. And the idea is that the tree is both inside this bubble world you're creating as well as on the outside of the bubble. Kind of two ideas in one. That's at least what I was going for. So you keep working your ink, light strokes, a little bit at a time, going in the direction of the bubble, stopping at the bottom of the trunk and at the top. There you go. So once you have that, we're going to come back to that. But once you have that, we're going to start working on the little trees. The littlest tree is going to be the inked top part only. I'm not inking this whole thing. So as you can see, just a light touch. You can do first gen, second gen. You'll hear me say that a lot. The lighter gen stamps are for trees that are further away. The closer ones are the ones that are darkest and have the most detail. So when you're using this little stamp, which is the littlest one out of the set. If you want the tree to be closer, move it further down into this bubble and make it bigger. If you want it further away, have it further up in that circle, and you have it less dark. Now, I was going to put the ink away, and then I saw, you know what, I need just a few little tiny trees more, so I added a couple more there, and that'll do it for my trees. Now what I'm going to do here is bring in my pencil. Pencil can become your best friend because you know that if you make a mistake, you can always erase it if you need to. Okay, got a close-up shot here as I work. Using a pencil, just drawing straight across at the base of these trees. Helps to give a little shadow, depth, and the illusion of snow. Then I'm going to grab my Micron pen, and it looks like I grabbed the one that was running out of ink. So I grab my other Micron pen, same size, and I'm going over some of the places that I did with the pencil in the black ink, real light. I'm going to fine pen here. And I'm creating a snow line, not for all the trees, just some of them. I wanted to make the illusion of snow and hills. And I'm coming back in with my brush and the Oxide ink Faded Jeans, and I'm using the pointy part of the brush to add blue where those lines are. You can use the torn paper trick if you want to for this. I really didn't want to because all the trees were there. And you can use the masks by Lavinia if you want to. Again, I didn't want to do that because of all the trees. It's really up to you, but I'm just eyeballing it. So going in and putting in the blue. Now I'm going in around the edges, but see how I'm going around the tree? I'm bringing the blue in behind the tree. The idea, like I said before, is that the tree is both inside and outside of this bubble, living in two worlds. So half of it is going to be in the blue bubble, and the other half won't be. So that's important, and I brought the mask back in because I want to darken the edges more. And I think I messed up a little bit and had part of what I was working off screen. Apologize for that. Lots of times I need what I'm working on a little bit closer to me than what I can see, and then I realize I've taken it too far out of screen, so I apologize for that. But you can see what I'm doing. I'm going in the same direction as the circle to create that bubble effect, and when I bring it down, I'm bringing it down as an arch because I'm creating a ball. It's not two-dimensional, it's three-dimensional. So I'm going to do a lot of circles, a lot of angles. I'm going around in circles. I want one part of it to be white. I want the shadows in there. And I'm just using just a little bit of ink every time I do. Remember, you can always add to, but you can't always take away. So we're going on to, wow, really? I had to do that, didn't I? I'm sorry. Here we go. It's back in screen for you. I don't know what I did. I think I just added more of the blue. Yeah, that's what I was doing. Okay, now I'm getting into the inking of the trunk. And I've got my Micron pen. I'm drawing the trunk out. You got to follow the base of the circle so that it's going to be round and then it goes flat. You want the other half of the trunk doing the same thing, going the opposite direction. And then I have some going up above it a little bit because the trunk roots are going into the bubble. So you want the roots inside as well as outside. after that, you do a series of upside down V's is the way I like to explain it for the trunk. Those V's are indentations in your trunk, and so they're going to be darker, really dark, okay? The light is coming from above, so you want those parts to be lightest, innards to be darkest, parts that are below, like the ground, to be darkest. I added a few straight lines for grass, and I'm doing very quick, short lines. You can even do little dots if you want to, a whole bunch. And I'm also extending the trunk, the deepening black, into the rest of the tree to make it look like it's really part of it. So I keep deepening the darker lines to create depth. As you can see here, I'm going to darken it some more. I follow that out. And I went back to get another pen because that other one ran out of ink. And you can see here I'm really layering on that black ink so that I can get that depth I want. And wherever the roots are in the bubble, there's going to be snow. The idea is that there isn't snow outside of the bubble, but there's snow inside the bubble. Straight lines out from the roots. Little roots there, some little tufts of grass straight up. Straight lines out for the ground, straight lines up for the root, or for the grass, tufts of grass. If you want it to be, in the tree or darker, it'll give it depth that way. And there we go. I'm really happy with that. There, see? Okay, now I'm going to get my gel pen. Oh, geez, I think I had problems with this pen too. I'm trying to put snow everywhere. This is the first snowfall within the bubble. So I'm using the gel pen to put down the white drops. I'm also going to draw lines, white lines. I haven't done it yet on the bubble, but I am doing it on the snow itself. Only half of this big tree is going to have snow on it, and I'm not going to do very much. And only half of the trunk is going to have snow, and only half of the roots are going to have snow. The idea is that the snowfall is happening only inside the bubble. And now half of the tree that's inside the bubble is getting snow. Short, quick lines, about the halfway point over to the right. Just a little. There. I took it off screen again. I'm sorry. There, I'm getting it back. What I'm doing here is I'm drawing lines as well as putting in snowdrops. Pretty much the same. Going back in with my pencil because I didn't want to add more ink. It would have made it too dark. So I'm putting in a pencil for shading, bringing out the soil a little bit. I wanted to make it gray. I also wanted to put in some shadow. See that white thing? That's a blender. That's just paper rolled up real tight, and you use it to smear or blend the graphite. And that's what I'm doing now. You can use your finger too. Only difference is that the blender doesn't have oil in it. When you use your finger has oil, so you can leave oil on the paper and it won't smear as well or as much. But you can use your finger. It's very doable. I'm using a special eraser right now just to take off some extra ink that I accidentally got on there. And I apologize for it not showing. I thought I was in the screen, but as you can see, I did get it off. It's like a sanding eraser, takes off ink, and I'm getting the little extra flakes off. And there we go. I've decided I need a little bit more of the blue ink from the brush and some white gel pen. I'm just going to make these curved lines straight over everything because I want to enhance that illusion of a bubble. And now the next line is the same arcing line right next to the previous one. And then I do it again, just making the lines a little smaller each time. And there. Okay, I think it's time for a little music. Enjoy! You did it! You have a complete card now. Welcome to Snowfall. Snowing in the ball and another world on the outside of it. Two worlds joined in as one. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial today. Can't wait to see you again. Much love. Life of as a crafter. He looks like a mess, right? I like to draw my ideas out before I actually create them. But does that mean that when I make it the first time around, it's going to be exactly what I imagined? As you can see, no, not exactly as I imagined. I like what I ended up with, But what did I do to get to this point? All right. So this is for bloopers, bleepers, and everything behind the scenes at Linda's studio. As you can see, I got a mess. Lots of mess, right? So how many things did I create here? What did I do? Oh my goodness. How many sketches did I make? How much scratch paper did I use? Honestly, test. I don't know. I made a lot. Okay, so sometimes what I do is I'll cut it out and I'll do it on the back. So this one, I was happy with some of the things like the tree trunk. I drew all that in. I liked that a lot, but I wasn't really happy with any of the other stuff. I didn't do anything on the back of this one. This one, I gave up pretty quick afterwards. It just looked like a big globby mess. This one, I was starting to like what I was doing here. As you notice, compared to these, there was no edging around the bubble I was creating. Still didn't like the trees, didn't like the tree trunk as much. And here I tried more trees and different kind of edging as what I did here. Didn't like that either. Of course, here on the snow, it was ridiculous. Looked like polka dots. Didn't like that. Then I got this one. I kind of liked this one. And you can tell because I colored the edges this time because I thought, oh, okay, maybe this is my final piece. But I wasn't satisfied because the colors here going around interfered with the pretty blue I was trying to do here. Plus, like my husband said, looks like the tree is shooting off like a rocket. Oh, we can't have a rocket tree, can we? I tried some more, and I wasn't happy with that either. So what I just started doing was pulling from the different examples I'd made. So I already knew I liked this tree trunk, the way this tree looked. I knew that I liked the bubble effect. I didn't like these colors. And because that's not the bubble effect, it has the edging. I didn't want the edging, so I knew I wanted to keep this bubble effect. And I could tell from looking at all my trees, I needed to stop clumping them so closely together. Less really is more. Let it breathe. Okay, so these are all my examples, and this became the final product.